Here are the starting lineups. Quinn Snyder has Hayward, Diao, Gobert tonight at the Staples Center. Scott Foster, Ronnie Garrettson, John Goebel, our officials. Brian Forte, the alternate. Courtney Kirkland is in the replay center. And off we go. DeAndre Jordan controls the tip.
Joe Ingles is guarding J.J. Redick, just not letting him get open and get some of those easy baskets that seem to get him going early in the first quarter.
Yeah, there's the block. Changed a great deal with the injury to Blake Griffin. And Griffin going out with an injury to his right big toe. Looking for the lob. That was actually deflected.
On dunks, putbacks, lobs, and get another 14, 15 rebounds. You see Chris Paul doing what he always does.
In game 4, he was fantastic. The Clippers, as Gobert's going up top, that was blocked by Spates.
Met him play a little defense too.
Well, Spates in that starting lineup, back-to-back starts, his first 2 of his playoff career, and that.
The ball's got to find Hayward here pretty soon, and he's got to get a shot. Speaking of which, whack.
Yeah, right on cue. And we welcome all of you, our reporter. And Gordon Hayward returning to the starting lineup and returning to the game after 8 straight points. Here's Paul, gives it up. Redick had it blocked. You know, that has happened a number of times in this series. And you have to wonder if that's starting to bother Redick a little bit, maybe on the release.
Yeah, it's got to be bothering him a lot as you see that.
Physically, he's fine. He spent the last 2 days drinking fluids. He's finally eating again. Brian Kevin, of course. We all want to know how he...
In game 3, that basket by Mbah Moute snaps an 11-0 Utah run. Now Hayward Barrett at one point scored 11 consecutive points in the fourth quarter. Paul Pierce getting his first run of the night, and he dropped. Jazz get back well, and here's Chris Paul. Little fadeaway is good. Let that game slip away. The Clippers had a 7-point lead with about 7 minutes remaining and couldn't close the deal as George skies high for the rebound on the miss by Crawford. And Hayward all the way in, stops on a dime and scores.
Perimeter after driving wide open shots. Utah just got knocked him down.
On the take goes Rivers. And Jordan with the follow.
And again, there's Raymond Felton getting the paint. And these are the shots you can live off of. Penetration, swing, and Paul Pierce.
We've seen them do early in games 1 through 4. How do you adjust defensively?
Well, we really just got to contest them.
In game 5. And Baz finds himself wide open. Comes up short, gets his own, and a putback.
Yeah, Austin Rivers, he had probably a 2 or 3 minute stint, and he was real nice back cut. Good find by Austin.
Tip it inside. Here's Bass. Had it blocked. 75 games now in the regular season and postseason over the last 2 seasons. And look
through. Good things happen for this Utah team. He can get them in bunches.
Gobert wide open in the lane, and Chris Paul back on the floor for the Clippers. And here is Crawford, who hits for the from 3-point range. Then he hit 4 in a row in game 4 and finished 5 of 7. As Redick goes to the hole, I think Gobert clock down.
Take more shots than any other team in the league late in the shot clock. You see
on the point guard play, and specifically without Chris Paul on the floor, as Diao gives it up to Gobert, who springs
just before the clock expired.
Chris Paul just above the free throw line hits. Mbah Moute, terrific defender, now starts it, and Redick, he was ready to fire a 3, lost the handle. Paul will shoot the 3, and he will hit. Johnson just 2 points thus far. In 11 minutes, down inside, Jordan runs into a wall, and having missed 10 games and very little contact in practice coming back as Johnson will turn around. No, Hayward goes to the hole. Paul kicks it to the wing. Rivers moves it to Redick on the take, and a little floater gets a friendly bounce. The regular season, point being they're comfortable in the lineup without Griffin, especially with Paul on the floor, and he dishes it. Blake Griffin didn't play in games 5 and 6 in that one either. They have had their share of injuries to deal with.
Guarded there, man. There's no penetration. Nope. Turnover now as Hood's going to take it in. Just get an easy one and see if that can't get him going.
This year, finished 3rd during the regular season as Johnson kicks it to the corner. Here's Hood after the dunk. He guards
the game by far.
Clock winding down in the second half. Jazz can take the lead. Hayward gives it up to Hill, who
Should say Austin Rivers combination, but what you have to remember there, Austin Rivers has that hamstring. Doc said he's not quite sure how many minutes he'll get out of.
Interesting that Utah outscoring the Clippers 10-3 in fast break points as Jordan springs free. Has won the points in the paint battle, has won each game in this series as Diaw gets deep in the lane and turnover as Hayward lost the handle right into the hands of Pierce. And Paul on the move and off the whip.
Great find and great read by Boris Diaw.
J.J. Redick for three. Yes, sir. To answer. Comes up short. Gobert offensive board. Kicks it out. Diaw will pull. Diaw hits it. 3-point shooters for Utah. Shot at only 25%. Paul on the other end and a friendly bounce for Paul. Will get it organized again. Comfortable as they get late in the clock. Hayward on the take. Little step back is good.
Talking about how to be better the next time out. Two wily old pros.
Here's Hood, and it is destroyed by the...
Trying to get in the paint and get fouled. Maybe takes an advantage here because no one's making shots. It's time to put your head down and just go to the rack.
And ISO Joe with a minute and a half left. Little step back over DeAndre Jordan in the third quarter. Shot clock down to 6. Joe Johnson with Wesley Johnson on him, and he'll pull a three-pointer. And Joe, game player he is. Joe Johnson, what a performance in these playoffs. 4-point game, Clippers down, taking the clock down. Here's Crawford, finger roll, no. Offensive board, Spates had it swiped. Had a chance to get one up here at the end of the quarter. Hayward lays it up, no, dunks it home. Doc Rivers. And his Clippers team, you get a sense they're in trouble here as Favors as they can on what has been a very poor shooting game. And now the Jazz coming out of the timeout. And
as fully as they played, I mean, they're right in this game.
Down 6. Paul trying to get him within 3, and he does. Paul, screen comes. Paul backs it out. 3-point try is up for the tie. Yes, sir! How? 11 points in the last 2 minutes and 12 seconds for the Clippers as Hayward answers short. Jazz by 2. Hood, he'll let it fly. And Rob. Shot clock to 5. George Hill looking for help. Gives it to Hayward. Lets it fly. And Hayward hits a and he's playing like one. Remember, he had a 40-point game in Game 3. Clippers and the Jazz both in the bonus now as Redick finds himself. Paul with 27 points in Game 4 in a losing effort. Paul all the way in, leaves it up for DeAndre Jordan. Paul denying Hayward. Now Ingles with it. Another late clock. Here's Gobert. Wow, Joe Ingles. Game 6 back in Salt Lake City on Friday. Chris Paul gets low and scores. Clock. Gets a screen. Three-pointer is up for Hill. Kept alive. Another offensive board. Joe Johnson for 3.
I know it's part of it. You got to make your free throw, but boy, I hate watching it.
Jazz up 4. Rodney Hood with a 3. And Rodney Hood.
Pass from Joe Johnson. Joe Johnson looking at him and putting a lot of trust in him.
Jordan on the run. He is fouled and he scores. And here comes Redick. Little ball fake going to the hole now, and a layup is good for J.J. Redick. To the Rivers on him. Swings it, three-pointer is up. And Hayward wrestling with Mbamute and Crawford, actually, and it's on the floor. And these two aren't giving it up. Chris Paul and Gordon Hayward. Johnson coming with a screen. Has it now. Mbamute stays with him. Joe Johnson, little step back. Oh, and Joe Johnson does it again. Down the Utah Jazz as Paul delivers a 3. Not over yet. Ison got the bounce. Clutch. Hill delivers when it counts. 4 big free throws late. And now Paul being hounded. The clock ticks. And that's it. The Utah Jazz have come into Los Angeles.